And welcome to the show, formerly known as The South's Got Something to Say, potentially a new name. We're here with a new format with a special guest. Um, Here, as always, with my good friend Kelsey Kramer. Kelsey, good
Hey,
morning, good
hey.
afternoon.
Good morning. What?
I don't know. I
Good
don't know where we're
afternoon.
at. We do have this guy that kind of snuck in here. Our resident editor. What is your official title, Ben? Now that you keep
I'm the
moving up the food
man, the
chain.
managing. Read simple titles. Managing editor. I'm not the.
Simple time.
I'm not an executive vice
He's the
president of anything.
GM.
I'm just
Okay,
the
so
managing editor. Yeah.
the managing editor, executive vice president, Ben Duty.
Wait, can I
We're,
take these off now?
You
Sorry.
can do whatever you want. Absolutely.
this
My
is
ear.
yeah, this is we're a high budget show, as you guys can tell here.
Yeah.
But we are
Sorry.
here. More exciting than our technical snafus are. We have playoff football this weekend, guys. Can I tell you? I'm here in the city of champions, Atlanta, Georgia, right down the road from Athens. But on
Go dogs.
Sunday, we are going to get snow and at least that's what the forecast says. And we're getting playoff football. I can't be more excited for this weekend. So we're here to go over all of our picks. So you can either fade our picks, and also taking your questions for the wild card action. We've got six. I'm trying to do the math here in my head. Six games, I believe. Right? Is that correct?
That is correct.
So we're going to go through all the games. We're going to go through your questions in the chat. So be sure to be active in there and tell us why we're full of crap, or tell us why you want your random prop bet on, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes rushing yards to be answered. So we'll be sure to answer everything you guys got for us. Let's get started. We'll just go through some of the lines here from our friends at FanDuel. Well, why don't we give seniority to our good guest here, Ben. Ben, do you like anything? You have like a special, like a favorite bet in terms of the spread this weekend?
Yeah. Let me do a quick thing that I really do recommend. If you're in a state where sports betting is legal, our guys at FanDuel Sportsbook, they have an offer. You can get 30-1 odds on either side of any football, any NFL bet, any playoff bet. So bet 5, win 150. So this is like a low. This is an easy pick. Normally it would be worthless, but at these odds, it's worth making it. The best pick is the Chiefs to win. You can bet 5, win 150, and the Chiefs winning this home game. I would take that. I'll give you one more, and I don't like this. I don't the do you have the spreads up? What's the Patriots Bills spread? Bills -4, -4.5 right now.
It's -4 right now.
I would be so surprised if the Patriots. I expect the Bills to win that game big. And
is this a reverse jinx? First of all, is this sort of like Patriots reverse jinx happening?
I hope it's a reverse jinx. I've said this before. I do sometimes bet against my teams because it's a little bit of a hedge where you either win the bet or you're happy, so you win one way or another. But like I also find that sometimes if you're paying somewhat close attention to a team and your team's not going well, I sometimes feel like the public, if you think your team sucks, sometimes the public isn't onto that. Like I felt this way about the Celtics in some cases, where it's like the Celtics. I said this before on another show. There was this thing a few weeks ago. Celtics were playing the Suns. The Celtics were just like in the gutter. The Suns had won like 14 straight, and the Celtics were only the Suns were only like a 3-point favorite. I was like, of course the Celtics are going to get blown out. I bet the Suns, and I won that. And I kind of feel that way about the Patriots and Bills. Like I would just be pleasantly surprised if that's a single-digit game. So the Bills at home only giving 4.5. I would just, God, I might bet the Bills on that, and then I'll either win my bet or like I will be overjoyed as a Patriots fan if the Pats win that game. So I kind of like the Bills. So anyway, that's where I would probably start. One thing that we could play a game here. John knows this from like politics stuff, election stuff. I'm a big 538 guy. They have do you ever look at this, John? They have projections for every game.
I usually look at it for the playoffs, and also for March Madness. They usually have a good little like projection.
Awesome with this. And I think their stuff holds up pretty well. So they have like a percentage chance on every one of these games. So if you do that FanDuel Sportsbook promo where you could bet either side, like the Chiefs their numbers back up what I would think is true. The biggest favorite for 538's projections is they have the Chiefs at 86% to win. So there's that. We can maybe go through some of these, but what do you guys like this? What do you guys like?
Well, I would just say that I think I buried the lead here because Kelsey and I for weeks have been coming on here pretending that we had a sponsor, like just begging biscuit companies across the Southeast to sponsor us. And now our friends at FanDuel are working with us, and we could be more than thrilled. And so we've been doing a lot of social stuff with our, I would say table picks, but actually have been doing pretty. I think we've both been doing pretty well with our picks. But just giving
streak, and then I went off the grid for a little bit, but I'm back.
But basically just giving you guys an opportunity to live in a state, or if you're like me, that you have to drive to Tennessee, which is a couple hours away, giving you the opportunity to make some extra money when you first deposit money. And so that's what Ben is kind of giving you guys. I actually do like the Chiefs money line in terms of that, because you're betting $5 on the Chiefs just to win, right? Not even against the spread, and you win 150 once that hits. And I don't think Ben Roethlisberger from like 1990 is walking through that door this weekend. No offense, Steeler fans, but I just don't see that happening. So I think it's a pretty safe pick. As I'm saying this, I feel like we're already getting tagged the old takes exposed as the Steelers win by like 40 on Monday, or like Monday morning when we get tagged. But
the refs would have to be playing a role in that, though.
Joshua is commenting that doesn't like, I won't say what he says here, but doesn't like the helmets. Look, my brother-in-law gives me free helmets and I put them up. That's the rules. So you don't have to like them. I think they look pretty sweet, especially this new Falcons edition, old school, like 1980s.
Yeah.
I love it.
My office, my rules. That's how it works.
At least they're bringing back those helmets this year, too. I heard.
Say again?
I heard they're bringing back those red helmets this year.
I mean, it can only help, right?
Yeah.
I should up my helmet game. John was on the show. I did a headgear pick for the Super Bowl, and I have a Patriots helmet from the mid '90s that I put the helmet on during the show. But I don't have anything else. Like, do you have more helmets or just those three, John?
I have a Virginia Tech helmet because my wife went to Virginia Tech and he made one for her. The UCF apparently is hard to find the decals and paint and stuff. So we've been trying to make that in the works. We also have been talking about a Bucko Bruce, a Bucks one, especially for our show. So that one could be in the works as well.
Your brother-in-law made them.
Say again?
He made those?
I mean, he doesn't make the actual helmet. He just takes an old helmet and then, like sands it. And yeah, I don't know exactly. I type for a living. I don't exactly know the logistics of it, but yeah.
If he has a business, like, that's cool.
I know. I could refer to a lot of people here. So people that want helmets, there we go. But enough about the helmet. So do we want to go through some of these games?
I think we should. I was just going to say there are a massive amount of. I assume we're live, by the way, on a couple of different Facebook pages in addition to Twitter and YouTube. The biggest, I think, a lot of people here are coming heavy on Cowboys, heavy on Bucks. We're on heavy on Falcons, although they're just here for the Falcons helmet and the backdrop. The Dirty Birds not playing this week. I think we should start with Cowboys Niners, though, John, if you're good with that. I mean, I would do that, and then we'll do Bucks Eagles because we have a lot of Bucks fans here.
I don't know what's going on with this game. This is actually my favorite game of the week in terms of pick wise, but I keep listening. Like everyone in the analytics community has been like fading the Cowboys like crazy and picking the 49ers money line. I've seen a lot of that this weekend. So either I'm crazy or like, am I wrong? Is Jimmy Garoppolo not still the quarterback for San Francisco?
No.
So I'm hammering Cowboys at -3. I like the alternate spread up to -6 for the Cowboys. And I'm also hammering the over. Let's look at our friends at FanDuel. Do they have a prop for interceptions? If they do, I think it was like 1.5 last I saw. I'm also hammering that because I think this Cowboys defensive line is going to attack Jimmy Garoppolo early and often and lead to a lot of turnovers in that first half. Let me see here. Do we have a
I think they're going to stop the run, and then they're going to have to rely on Jimmy, and relying on Jimmy in a game like this is not going to be pretty. But I will say, 49ers, Cowboys, they're like both like the bloodiest players when it comes to talking about games. They just sounds like it's going to be a bloodbath, so I don't know.
Let's get the comments flowing in here. And Joshua Deitz has a quite good question. What's the biggest upset coming in the wild card games? You want to do Cowboys? The Cowboys are giving 3 at home. Wow. Well, let me go back to the fact that my gut reaction on that, John, is of course bet the Cowboys on that -3. Like my gut is that's a double-digit Cowboys win. Jump in here, Cowboys fans, on your comments. Let me put that against these 538 probabilities. I don't know, man. I mean, John, if you don't, I assume you don't have the 538 probabilities.
I have it up. I'm pulling it up now.
Oh, you do have it up. I was gonna. We can do like a Mike and the Mad Dog thing where you have to guess this probability.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked yet, so you can go ahead.
What is your guess on what the 538 win probability is for the Cowboys in this game?
I'm guessing it's like based on like all the analytic people I've listened to this week. I've got to say it's like at 60%. Would just be a guess.
This is why
the Cowboys to win.
That is a good bet. It's at 69%.
Yeah,
69%. So like obviously it's possible that they win. Part of that 69% includes scenarios where they win by 1 or 2 or 3 points, and that's a push. But most games are not decided by 1 or 2 points. So that's a low number. Like if you're at, there are people who have broken this down, I think statistically, and I'm not going to try to get too far over my head on that. But if a spread, if it's a spread is that small, like if you think they're going to win, they're probably going to win by more than 3 points, right? It's just most games are like that. So the Cowboys -3, I could get myself into a lot of trouble here because if you bet, like a couple of these times I've placed some bets during these shows and that doesn't always go that well, but hopefully makes for good content. So let's place a couple bets here. I've got the app up here. FanDuel Sportsbook.
If you see, I didn't see interception props. Sometimes those go up like the day of. FanDuel will put them up there, but that would be one I would be watching. I do see a TD prop. But some of these player props tend to go up like a day or two before the game kicks off. So that's just one to watch.
You can place this for me. Do you think I should bet the Cowboys -3?
I think you should bet the Cowboys if there's an alternate line. Let me see here. Sometimes they'll have the alternate line up, like -6, the alternate spread here.
Oh, they totally.
Let's see. I'm looking at it now. First one is the. Yeah, so if you go
alternate spread, I got it. Yep, I totally got it. Yes, John, this is where it's at. So let's get a good price on the Cowboys alternate spread.
I would if you go to be safe, you could go Cowboys -6.5, so you avoid that like key number of 7. Although Zerline is kind of sucked with field goals with extra points this season, I don't even know if that matters, but it's +150. If you're super confident, you think it's going to be a double-digit deal, I would probably do most of my money on the -3, but then throw a little bit of extra dollars that I found in the couch cushion at like Cowboys -9.5 at +210. If I was going to, go a little bit crazy with the alternates.
I went on a losing streak, John, as I don't have enough money left. So I'm kind of like, I'm not out of money, but I'm trying to do. I'm trying to run the ball a few times to like not get it further out of my own end zone before I like launch it down the field.
I was just going to say, Ben, you can drag some of the comments into the chat if you see something that sticks out to you. I think that our capabilities have been.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Kind folks.
Yeah. No, I'm having an eye on them. I feel like let's get Josh. Thank you, Josh. Josh Deitz, good active commenter. Some of these other guys, our pal here, Gary Johnson. We were talking politics earlier. I don't know. Do you think this is the 2-time Libertarian nominee for president, Gary Johnson, or you think it's another Gary Johnson?
That might be why the sunglasses. You don't want to give away too much.
Yeah,
on the socials.
Anyone else who's a former president, multi-time presidential candidate, hop on into the chat. We love to have you here. I love that though. That Cowboys alternate spread. I'll go mine. I'm gonna go. Don't judge me for how small these bets are. Like if you guys, anybody out there has a bigger bankroll than I do right now, you can bet more than this. I'm going to bet $7. $7. Place the bet. Bet 7 to win 1470, John.
I like that.
-9.5. How about them Cowboys? -9.5 +210. Boom. Place the bet.
I'm looking to see what Dax. So he's just not a great value here. Like if you think Dak's going to go over 1.5 touchdowns, it's at -188. So I would rather actually that be like at 2.5. Then you could probably get plus money. But right now it's a little bit of a kind of interesting value. If the real value is if you're just fading everything I'm saying and you really like the 49ers, then you could take Jimmy to have a good game and go over 1.5 touchdowns at -122. But honestly, if the 49ers win this game, it's going to be on the ground. So I'd probably rather hammer some of these rushing stats because I think that's where the Cowboys defense is susceptible.
Am I missing something? Like, let me ask you this, John, as a guy who's like follows the Cowboys really closely. Obviously they haven't been perfect, but they, I mean, they just, I feel like now look, they totally could get crushed here and we'll be on Bad Takes Exposed, but am I missing something? My take is like, of course they're going to cover that. Of course the Niners can't hang in that game. And like, of course the Cowboys are going to be all over that, but what am I missing? I mean, like, am I overrating the Cowboys?
I think the narrative is the Cowboys played in one of the worst divisions this year in the NFC East. And if you look at their quality wins are not great. I mean, you could argue, like, maybe their best game was that week 1 game where they lost close to the Bucs in terms of some of some games.
I'll give you a take though, John, that looks better. Their win against the Patriots looks better now than it did at the time. At the time, the Patriots hadn't done anything. And now the Patriots are playing poorly too, but they won 7 straight after that.
And I think Cowboys fans would attest that are in the chat. There's just been some inconsistency with the offense. One week you have Dak come out, he throws 5 touchdowns or whatever it was against the Eagles, and another week, it kind of lays an egg against an average defense. So I think Cowboys fans want to see more consistency from the quarterback position, and they want to see more consistency from the play calling. Kellen Moore's kind of, after that hot start, kind of been slowed down by some of these defenses in recent weeks. So,
dude, I feel better about. Again, I'm probably going to lose the bet now that I'm talking about it, but I feel better about that. Minus, I'm looking at the Cowboys' schedule now, John, and I mean, their worst result this season is probably the Denver loss, right?
Yeah,
30-16. They lost at home to Denver, but Jesus, I mean, they shouldn't have lost to Arizona. They lose to Arizona, but like they just blew out the Eagles the week. Also, but they've scored 50 or more points in 2 of their last 3 games. Right. And I know that's a small sample, but like somebody could look this up. There have to be decent NFL teams who haven't scored 50 points in a single game all year, and the Cowboys did it 2 of the final 3. So I don't know, Kelsey, what do you think? What am I missing here?
I like Dan Quinn, and I like the Cowboys defense. I like -3. I'm taking the Cowboys, and I'm not second guessing it.
Yeah, there's that.
I mean, okay. I think they're going to stop the run, and then 49ers are going to be stuck relying on Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's just not trustworthy in these situations. So, and he's also dealing with that ligament in his thumb where he complains about it.
Yeah, can you imagine a scarier scenario than putting your money on Jimmy Garoppolo in the playoffs, and he's got a hurt hand?
Yeah. So, and he said,
I don't understand the buzz this week. I don't get it.
Hurts. So, yeah, I don't trust that, and I am going with the Cowboys. And Micah Parsons is back this week, which he wasn't back last week, and they beat the crap out of who did they play?
The Eagles last week. Yeah. I don't know.
You want to segue that to, we got Bucs fans here. You want to segue that to talking Bucs Eagles?
I do have, some people were talking. So there is some concerns with the Bucs this week. I don't think in terms of losing this game, but the injuries just keep coming. This is a long. Could someone do the TLDR for this this comment?
Leave it on the field. Shut down the run, and open up a can of 49er, a Texas can of 49er whoop ass. I think it's where it says. Yeah, it says whoop ass. Okay, gotcha.
I would trust Gary because his car can float. So I mean, I don't know if you have a car that can float in the air, like I'm going to tend to agree with you. The Bucs. So here's the situation: they lost Chris Godwin for the season.
And AB.
We all know what happened to Antonio Brown. We don't need to litigate that, even though he continues to be on like every podcast that we haven't heard of, known to man, in recent weeks. And then this week we have Grayson goes down, who's a guy that now casual guy, like who cares about that? Well, he's a guy that carved out a role in the offense when AB had his meltdown. Was a guy that Brady trusts, not relied on super heavily, but it's still a player that matters. It looks like he's going to be doubtful for Sunday. Rashad Perriman, who they recently signed, he's dealing with an injury, which I just saw. Looks like he's still going to play, but is playing through an injury. They just signed John Brown, who played 4 games this season, hasn't caught a pass though, but has elite speed 4.3 guy. So I have concerns, but that's not the main reason I have concerns. I have concerns because half of their defense, key guys, Devin White isn't playing through an injury. Lavonte David looks like it's going to be questionable to doubtful whether he plays against the Eagles. Shaq Barrett is wearing a knee brace. He's going to be trying to play on Sunday. So these key guys that were the reason that the Bucs kind of got into that winning streak last season are really banged up. JPP has not played well off the edge this season. So there are concerns, but I look at all of the teams in the playoffs, and it seems to me like the Eagles are the weakest of the teams. That's just my opinion. So you also have bad weather rolling in, not the kind that we're going to see. It looks like it's going to be close to snowing on those Saturday games, but obviously not going to be snowing in Tampa, but there's going to be some bad rain and wind right now projected in the forecast. So this could be a really sloppy game where the Eagles just get really ugly, try to make an ugly time position game, slow down that Bucs offense. And so I do think that the Bucs should have concerns. I don't think that the Bucs are going to lose the game, but do I have enough confidence to, what is it, 8.5? I think is the last I saw here on FanDuel. So I just have a lot of concerns for the Bucs heading into the postseason in terms of their overall contender status. But Brady has proven he can win with nearly anyone, So this just doesn't seem like the same team as last season. Does that matter in terms of winning the Super Bowl this year? Not necessarily. But I do think there's some questions, especially when you're looking at some of the elite teams in that NFC. So how do you guys see this game playing out? It is 8.5. I'm just looking here. So the Eagles are 8.5 underdog against the Bucs right now.
I have a very simplistic take, which again, sort of like the Cowboys, or maybe I'm missing something. I haven't watched the Eagles a lot. I watched a little bit of that Saturday game. I think the Eagles are a fake playoff team. The Eagles are not a really legitimate playoff
team. Ben's firing shots.
And of course, this game. I mean, could you? I can't. What I'm trying to think through Brady's career, whether if the Bucs lose this game, I think it'll be the worst loss of Brady's career in the playoffs in terms of a game that they just had no business losing. If you look back at his Patriots losses, obviously he won a lot, so there's not that many losses to choose from, John. But if I think of like a game that the Patriots should have won, the first Super Bowl of the Giants is probably the first one. In terms of the Patriots were a 14-point favorite and they lost, so that was terrible. But the other ones, they lost a home playoff game to the Jets in the 2010 season. That was bad. This would be one of the 3 or 4, though, I think, worst losses of Brady's career in the playoffs. Just don't see any way. I know we're not really talking money line. We're talking point spread. I could see a way that the Eagles could cover that, but even that feels like, I don't know, man. How could they possibly? I feel like that's a 3-touchdown game. And by the way, those 2 takes about the fact that the Cowboys, they're sort of related, where I think I like the Cowboys and I like the Bucs because I just watched the Cowboys blow out the Eagles. And so maybe I'm over learning both lessons, but my lessons from that immediate game and then for most of the season are, I think the Cowboys are really good. I think the Eagles are not good. So give me the Cowboys. Again, it took the alternate spread minus 9.5. And then I love the Bucs. Unless I'm missing, I feel like that's just the boring. That's like boring analysis. We should go on to some games that are like closer spreads. But so
I like the Eagles to cover. So.
Whoa! There we go.
Plus
what's your take? How do you see that happening, Kelsey?
So there have been times this season where the Eagles have been surprising, and the Bucs right now, they're not on their A game, and I don't think they almost lost to the Jets. I'm sorry, but that's the Jets. And I think it's going to be another one of those games where I think the Chiefs the Bucs are going to win. But I think the Eagles are going to surprisingly cover. And it's going to be a fun game to watch.
So Kelsey likes the Eagles to cover. Fun game to watch.
But I like the Bucks to win and the Eagles to cover. I just think we're going to be surprised. I think that's going to be a surprising game.
I feel like I'm going to talk myself into the Bucks by the time this kicks off, or by the time I go to Chattanooga, which is more accurate, which won't be at kickoff. But this could be a game where it's 10-3 in the middle of the second quarter, and the Eagles are up, and everyone's like, "How did this happen?" And it's just like I get a little bit concerned the Bucks have a slow start, and then they kind of pull away with it in the second half. But the question is just the number for me, not necessarily the outcome.
The Eagles are used to very bad weather. I wanted to say the S word, but I don't think we can swear on here. And the Bucks are used to Florida. So
Kelsey, you can swear as much as you want. Say any word you can think of.
What is FanDuel? Whatever FanDuel, we have to be. This is a new marriage. We got to be sensitive to our friends.
These guys FanDuel are not gonna crush us for. Let us
know in the chat. Do you think FanDuel folks use bad language?
You might know this. Does McAfee swear in the show? Pat McAfee is
by a lot. Yeah, by a lot.
He swears a lot, but he swears in the show.
Yeah, like often.
And our guys, I think, are paying him $30 million a year. So
there have been rumors that he is making okay money with FanDuel.
So I don't think that they have a problem with. I mean,
I was more concerned about heavy.
Please don't write like fuck or shit or anything horrible like that in an article on the site. Please don't do that. We have policies against that, but can you swear on a Facebook Live?
Okay.
Yeah. Like, don't do it gratuitously. Don't just walk around. I just did it gratuitously. I won't repeat that. But
now we got banned from it.
During the course of like a discussion, you can say that.
Okay, Bucks live in hurricane weather, yeah, but they don't play during hurricane season. They're playing. Are they? Who are they?
I mean, it's kind of always hurricane season in Florida, but I don't know if people want to get into our weather takes.
Oh, they are playing at the Bucks.
All right, should we move on to some of the other games? Or do you guys have anything lingering on this one?
I just want to say one thing. I'm going to tweet out a link to the promo that we talked about, FanDuel Sportsbook promo, 30-1 odds on either team. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to retweet. I'm going to quote tweet you, John. I'm going to put out a link here, and then I'm going to just link to that tweet in the comments, and everybody can find that. Again, I recognize not everybody has sports betting in their state. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in 13 states, most recently in New York. They're not in Texas yet. That's hopefully coming later this year. So I get it. If you're not in one of those states, you be like John and drive to Chattanooga. You can drive. You can do whatever you want travel wise. In case this isn't obvious on this stuff, guys, you just have to be physically present in the state to place a bet. So it doesn't matter where you live or anything. You just need to go to a place where FanDuel Sportsbook is up, and then you can get this odd. And again, we're not trying to sell anything hard on here. I'm not like I'm pretty cautious about like what I recommend on this stuff, but I really do recommend, like, if you're going to sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook anyway, and other sportsbooks have good offers also if you're a new user, but we're working with FanDuel. If you're going to sign up anyway, and you can get 30-1 odds on the Chiefs to beat the Steelers, which, as we said, there's an 86%. Our guys at 538 say it's an 86% chance that's going to happen. Like, that's pretty much the best money it's the best deal you're going to really get on this stuff. So I'm strongly in favor of doing that. Strong recommend.
And I was just going to say, before we pivot to the next game, a couple props that I'm looking at here that I'm watching. The Brady over 2.5 touchdowns is plus money right now. I like that a lot at plus 158. But what I'm really wanting to see is the Leonard Fournette props when they come out, because he hasn't been playing. He's just got activated at practice. They haven't announced his status, but they just released a running back to sign John Brown. So it seems to indicate all signs are pointing to Fournette playing. Ronald Jones is out, so you're going to see Fournette get a lot of carries. So I like his whatever the receiving props will be, his over number of catches, and I also like the over on the rushing yards for Fournette, assuming it's not some sort of gaudy number. But if you guys follow me on social, we can talk through that by the time Sunday hits. Those will be out, I would assume. So just a couple props. What next? Let's talk about a different game here. We're looking here at the calendar. Do you guys have any? So this is a game. We're not kind of going in order, but the Cardinals-Rams to me is the most curious matchup of the weekend, even though it's on a Monday. But some people have a long weekend because that's Dr. King holiday. So right now, the Rams are favored by 3.5. I saw that was at 4. I believe they were favored by 4, and now that's down to 3.5. So do either of you have a strong take on this game?
This is a game I'm staying away from as far as money goes, but I want the Cardinals to win for personal reasons. I don't really like Kyler Murray. But last time I said that, he surprised me.
That's
so.
true. That was a spiteful game.
Week one.
Do you talk about? I'll be cryptic about this. Do you talk about what your personal reasons are for liking the Cardinals, or is that just like an off the air? Kelsey has a connection to a bit of a family.
I'm rooting for someone there.
She has a family connection to the Cardinals organization.
Yeah.
But then you don't like. Wait, what do you mean you don't like Kyler? Like you don't like Kyler? Like you personally don't like him, or you just think he's let you down as a bettor?
Both.
Both. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know him, but you can just tell his attitude is just. Okay, this is gonna get me just
shots fired. No, it's not gonna get you in trouble because it's not gonna get you in trouble because I don't think very many people know what your connection.
Yeah, I don't trust his passing game right now. I don't. The whole entire. It's not really him, honestly. It's his receiving weapons too, right now.
I think that's fair. I'm just looking at this game. Would you rather have Kyler Murray or Stafford on your side heading into this game the way Stafford's looked the last few weeks?
You don't know what this game is very up in the air. I think I'm surprised it's -4. I would just think it would be like -2 or -1.5.
I don't think so. So not to toot my
Cardinals to cover. The Cardinals to cover. There we go.
I've been doing pretty well since we partnered with FanDuel on giving some picks out on those. But I think I've gotten every Rams game that I've tried to figure out either on my own or I don't know if I've given it as an official pick, but I can't figure this Rams team out because I think that they're pretty good. But there's also part of me that sees if you think the Cardinals can win this game, like this Cardinals team at one point was the best team in the NFL in terms of the record. Yeah. Like I'm looking at their future bet. Like that's a team if you're just trying to throw a dart on a long shot team to win. Like this team has enough talent that they could rattle off a few wins to get to the Super Bowl. Well, do I think they will? No. But I'm looking here.
So this is kind of baked into the price, I think, John, but it's not really a road game. Like the LA teams don't have fans really. I mean, the Rams do more so than the Chargers, but it's not like the Cardinals are going into like an insanely hostile environment where it's impossible to win, right?
They've also been a weird team this year. The Cardinals actually done a lot better on the road. I don't have the exact record in front of me. Maybe some of the fans will have that, but
Caleb Brown said.
So right now, what do you guys think the outright number is if you put a future wager on the Cardinals to win the Super Bowl right now, heading into the wild card weekend?
50-1.
Okay, so Ben's a little bit more optimistic than I thought this was a decent number, but it's not that good. What would you say, Kelsey? It's lower than 50-1.
I don't know. I think it's too good.
Suspense is killing our audience, I guess here. So it's plus 2,200 right now.
Okay, yeah, they're like what, the 5th team? They're on the rankings.
I can't do math is not my strong suit, but I would just say the only teams they're tied with the Patriots at plus 2,200 to win. The only ones with better odds in terms of like more lucrative. The Eagles are plus 6,000, along with the Raiders at plus 6,000, and the Steelers, if you just want to fade Ben's money line pick and just go Steelers all the way at plus 9,000. So
the 49ers have a better chance, don't they?
Yeah, no? Just barely though, plus 2,100.
But still,
the Steelers winning the Super Bowl would be the most surprising Super Bowl result ever. If you look at the playoff, well, I don't know who the longest shot was. Those Giants team, those like 9-7 Giants teams. I think Kelsey's buffering now. I should go both to come back.
I think Kyler Murray just took out her camera.
But the 9-7 Giants teams that won those Super Bowls were big long shots heading in. They won all those road games. Like, can you think of another? I don't think there, but even those odds probably weren't as long as this Steelers team. Of course, having the 7th team in the playoffs is going to add teams like this, right? Where like that team wouldn't have even gotten in prior years. but I don't think there's ever been a Super Bowl champion who had as little a shot as Pittsburgh does. Who do you think am I missing anybody there? The Giants teams might be the closest thing there. The 9-7 teams.
I don't have a team off. I would just say that someone made this argument. I can't remember if it was Bill Simmons or someone. They were just talking about how dangerous future bets are with COVID right now. And so, like, we're not going to talk about like the logistics of COVID, but there is a reality. Like the night before the Super Bowl or the night before the NFC title game or that AFC title game, the big players get rolled out because they test positive. So if you're just looking at best value, you could take a few dart throws at some of these teams and just, I mean, obviously we're not rooting for COVID here, but I'm just saying, like, there's a scenario where some of these long shot teams aren't as long shotty, for lack of a better word, as they would be in a normal year, where you have a potential their path could get easier based on guys being rolled out right before kick. That would just be my only 2 cents. Kind of an interesting way to look at it.
This guy put a comment here. Oh, Kelsey's gone completely now. Kelsey, come on back if you're out here watching this. Caleb Brown is
the Cardinals fans were not kind to Kelsey. Now she's lost complete internet.
I'm with you, Caleb Brown. Caleb, I'm with you that line is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm shocked that the line is that low, but I think it's good money, right? I mean, completely understand some situations. I don't know. I feel like my hot take is that obviously the Cowboys win that game big, and this would be my old take exposed, but I bet at John's suggestion, I went alternate FanDuel Sportsbook. Go to my Twitter handle. You can get a link to this promo. By the way, 30-1 odds on either team. This one wasn't 30-1 odds, but John suggested take the alternate spread. Let me Kelsey back in here. Okay. The speculation is that you dragging Kyler Murray knocked your internet out. Kyler Murray called in a hit on your internet access and took out your access. But again, Caleb is saying he's shocked that the Cowboy game is that line. I bet John told me bet the alternate spread. I went up to minus 9.5. Whatever's going on with your audio video, I think is out of my control here, Kelsey. Can you talk? Thank God we're not live on the radio. This would be bad radio with Kelsey's on screen. And
let me just say what we've learned here is don't talk bad about the Cardinals. Last time this happened, like Kyler Murray had like a career game. Last time you picked against the Cardinals. Not even like 5 minutes after you said maybe some slanderous things about Kyler Murray again, your internet's not working and you can't talk. So I was going to pick the Rams in this game, I think, but now I'm kind of leaning just going Cardinals money line just based on the power of Murray to apparently knock out your internet. And now she's gone completely.
Well, she said she can't hear us. So Kelsey, chat, once you can start hearing us, like chat us and we'll put you back on screen here. All right, we're going, we'll wrap up here pretty quickly. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you, and let's do that. We're going to do another show. I say John and Kelsey do another show, and John, yeah, I'll come on as a guest as often as you'll have me, but you can probably get better booking than that. If you take any of these bets, go find Matt Ben-Duty on Twitter. Take a look at that tweet. Reply to that tweet. Give us a screenshot. FanDuel Sportsbook. Screenshot your bet. Reply here. If you reply with that bet screenshot, will definitely get you a shout out on this show next time around. We'll see if we can get you some merchandise. We like the merchandise giveaways. We'll see if we can give you. We'll see if we can put together a merch giveaway for you if you're in on that bet. Like I said, 30-1 odds. Chiefs over the Steelers. The Chiefs are not losing that game. And you can bet $5, win $150 if you're a new FanDuel Sportsbook user. All right. Those futures are interesting, John. Maybe we can even hop on next week if you want and talk and follow up on futures. But basically, the rundown, it runs the gamut from Packers are at plus 380 to win it. They're the favorite. The Steelers are plus 9,000. They're the long shot. Anything else you like in that? Anything else that like stands out as a good future?
Well, aside from just taking random long shots, like I could talk myself into the Cardinals winning the next 2 or 3 games, getting on a roll. But just like based on value and what I think could happen, someone mentioned this, but Cowboys at plus 1,200. Like I could see a scenario where they win pretty comfortably on Sunday, play the Bucks, a beat up Bucks team, win that game, and then you're looking at Cowboys, Packers, which I'm sure a lot of Cowboys fans remember the Dez Bryant catch, not no catch thing. You got McCarthy against his old team. I don't see the Packers. It makes sense why they're the outright favorite just based on how consistent they've been, but they don't seem like this sort of like juggernaut like even old Chiefs teams used to seem. So I like the Cowboys at plus 1,200 in terms of value. I also like the Titans actually at plus 850. You're looking at the number 1 seed in the AFC. So they're going to get that first round bye. And they're not even, what are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're 5th team based on the odds. So people don't like the Titans for whatever reason because they don't win. Their offense isn't super flashy or anything, but they've been consistent overall in the last. They had that postseason experience. They've been kind of toe-to-toe at one point with the Chiefs the last few years, and the Chiefs kind of broke it open late. So those are two that kind of stick out to me as teams that just based on value, it's good value in terms of having the capabilities to make a Super Bowl run. Let me just add, someone was asking about Trayvon Diggs. My understanding is all the Cowboys that were on the COVID list have now been activated, so they should have a close to full squad as they've had.
I just want to add, listen, this show is going to be a massive Cowboys like rally the troops, like pump up kind of thing. Now that we're taking it here, I really could thank you, Caleb. Caleb, DM me your Venmo information, and if I win this bet, I'll give you like a vig on it. I'll send you like $10 or something. I went John plus 1,200. Caleb's advice. I bet $9 on it. So I bet 9 to win 108 on the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. And I'll be honest about this: the Cowboys fans like this. Everybody's gonna make. John covers the Cowboys. Everybody's gonna make money on the Cowboys. John wants. Please, we're honest about wanting more Cowboys traffic. You can get that for bad storylines too, but I absolutely want the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl from a trap. Don't you, John? And John,
right. If the Cowboys don't and they lose to the Niners very badly, I'm just going to delete all my social media and probably retire from covering.
So that'd be bad. So, John's in a good spot here. John covers the Bucks and the Cowboys. Caleb, I'll send you a Venmo you. So John get to cover the Super Bowl champions last year. I mean, dude, the odds that the Cowboys now look, obviously the Packers are the favorite. It's not like it's like better than even money or something that the Cowboys or the Bucks were going to win the Super Bowl. But your chances, John, of having one of those two teams in the Super Bowl are decent, don't you think? Whether it's Tampa Bay or Dallas.
Exactly. And so if you're rooting for the lights to stay on in the Adams household, you should be rooting for the Cowboys and the Bucks this weekend. That's what my house is doing. And it could get dire here. Like, it could be like I have to go sell shoes after this if those teams lose this weekend. So
let me one last question. Maybe we can end on this unless you have something else, John. The part I'm envisioning. So somebody is going to have to beat Green Bay at Lambeau, and Brady just did that last year. And by the way, there were some fans at that game. It wasn't packed, but there were like 8,000 people at that game, right? In early 2021. So somebody's going to have to beat Green Bay. Somebody's going to have to beat them in order to go to the Super Bowl. You know that Brady can do that because he just did it a year ago. Can you envision the scenario where Dak Prescott takes the Cowboys into Lambeau and knocks off the Cowboys? You can see that happening.
What you're saying? Do I see a scenario where the Cowboys could beat the Packers at Lambeau?
Can the Cowboys win? I just feel like that's the blocker. Is that you have to beat the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC, some way, shape, or form goes through. Somebody has to beat Green Bay at home. Somebody has to beat Green Bay in Lambeau. Somebody, whether it's in the divisional round or the NFC Championship game. And I'm trying. The
Cowboys would have to look closer to the team that we saw against the Eagles, against half the Eagles roster was on the COVID list, but they have to look closer. Their offense has to look closer to that team than they did against, say, the Cardinals where they struggled. So I think that this Cowboys defense with Parsons, with DeMarcus Lawrence now healthy, with Randy Gregory, they're going to be flying around. This defense is going to keep them in games. But the question for the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl is that offense needs to be playing it. They don't even necessarily need to be at elite level, but they need to be pretty close to that. And so I'm looking at Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, the production of that run game, which opens up the passing game for the Cowboys. If those two, it looks like Elliott's trending towards being healthier than he's been in a while. So I do see that scenario, but I just have some question marks on that consistency in the offense. And I think a lot of Cowboys fans also have those questions. So if they can be, but at the same time, like that Packers defense isn't foolproof. Like they've shown some vulnerabilities. They've played some teams close that they shouldn't have played with. So it isn't like this Packers team is a juggernaut. I would just add, unrelated to that, Kelsey spoke to me through a hologram and just wants it to be known that she likes the Bengals to win their first playoff game since 1990. But the Raiders
the Bengals. Yeah, I think the Bengals are a great storyline this year.
That's a fun game. That's a fun, like usually that appetizer game, that early game is usually not that great. And I'm actually looking forward to watching that this year.
Yeah,
with the Raiders overcoming all that they've overcome, which some of it's been like self-inflicted, right, in terms of bad decisions players and coaches have made. But it is a very intriguing first game to kick off the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's been self-inflicted, but
not in terms of like the players that are there, but just in terms of like, some of the guys.
Well, yeah, I think the good news is if you're like rooting for the Raiders is, it's not Derek Carr's fault that John Gruden sent those emails to Bruce Allen 10 years ago. And it's not anybody's fault other than John Gruden and probably Bruce Allen and the other people in that email chain. But it's definitely not the fault of current Raiders players. That's a good thing. I mean, that Raiders team was a big – that Sunday night game was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I'm glad the Raiders are in. We'll do some Raiders coverage too. Yeah, I mean so anyway, this is the point of the show is Cowboys. This is a Cowboys pump-up show. I bet I cast 2 bets during the show on the Cowboys. I took them -9.5 alternate spread this weekend, and then I bet the future on the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl at +1,200.
I feel like I know we have a lot of Bucks fans in the chat, and I'll just give you a mini pep talk because I've been a little bit negative. But if you're just like, hey, we've got Tom Brady, we're going to be fine, we're going to overcome these injuries. Bucks right now +750. That's not bad to win the Super Bowl, considering what they were at the beginning of the season. They were pretty overinflated in terms of value when the season kicked off, just based on them potentially repeating. So if you like the Bucks, you like Brady, you like your chances rolling the dice, +750 is not bad for that.
No,
for that Super Bowl future there.
Not at all. All right. Anything else, John?
I think that's all we have, but I would just encourage you, follow Kelsey on social media. She's been posting a lot of videos, a lot of pics. Follow myself. My handle is right below me. Follow Ben. We're going to be doing just fun stuff with these games this weekend and the playoffs as a whole. I'm really excited for the postseason to kick off. And so just follow us. We'll probably be having a lot more of these live shows, taking questions, just talking about the playoff action. I know we're trying to do one, I believe, after the Sunday games. At some point this weekend, we want to do a show. So
the other thing that we're going to do, by the way, a plug here, product plug, Heavy on Winners. If you're on Facebook, Heavy on Winners is a sports betting page that's going to be active. We're streaming here live now. Heavy on Winners. We'll do some football here. John, will you hop on with me? We'll do some weird bets. Like we'll do some golf. We'll throw some Aussie Open, some college basketball. You good for that type of thing soon?
Yeah. The Hawks just traded away Cam Reddish for nothing. So that's always that happened today to the Knicks. So yeah, definitely talk hoops here soon.
And then we'll do
Masters. The Masters was approaching.
The Masters really is coming up. My one golf bet. Where do I have my golf bet? Golf bet is Hideki Matsuyama this weekend. We'll see if Hideki can come through. All right. Enjoy all the playoff games, everybody. We'll be back at you soon. And screenshot me your bets on Twitter. Follow John. Follow the aforementioned Kelsey Kramer. We'll talk to you later.
If you're looking for weird prop bets or you have questions, feel free to message me throughout the weekend. As some of these player props come out, we get closer to kickoff. That's always fun. So feel free to shoot us questions. Myself or Kelsey's also game for that as well. So.
All right.
She wishes that she has audio. She keeps messaging us, so be sure to give her a follow as well. At KKRAMZZ.
You want to spell that out slowly again here? There are a lot of
KKRAMZZ. So 2 Z's at the end.
2 Z's at the end.
Was trying to make it the most difficult way for us to follow her on social media, but there you go.
There you have it. All right. See you, everybody.
All right. See you.